There is another channel by which increasing taxation on the rich will make you richer.
Okay,
I think it's also quite interesting, counterintuitive.
Okay.
Which is if you increase tax on the very rich, people with wealth of 10 million, 100 million,
10
billion,
million.
massively.
That's it. Massively.
You will enforce rich people selling their assets. Now, if you tax them really, really high, and to be honest, I think at this point, wealth inequality has become so large and is growing so quickly, you really do need to tax these people really massively. If you tax them a lot, you could put them in a situation where they have to sell their assets.
Wow. So listen what he just said. He said he wants to tax you so much that you have to sell your assets. That you, as a wealthy person, as Elon Musk, right? As Michael's assuming he's correct, Elon Musk could afford to pay $14 billion. So he wants to tax Elon Musk so much that he can't afford to pay his taxes. So he's got to like sell Tesla or something, or he's got to sell something, right? Because he can't pay his taxes. So he's going to triple his taxes massively. So Elon's got to pay, I don't know, $42 billion in taxes, and he can't afford it. So he's got to sell Tesla stock. So he's got to he's got to sell his company, or he's got to sell a building that he's in, or he's got whatever. He's got to do some kind of thing like that. Okay. Let's assume he's correct. And tomorrow, the Congress passes a law. Everyone who makes $10 million or more, your taxes are tripled, right? Because that's what he said. He wants so much. Again, his words. I don't want to straw man him. I go out of my way to not straw man. I use their words. Massively, his words. So they're forced, he said, to sell their assets. All right, so you do that. I love it. First off, they're all going to just take that. So Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the Walmart family, and all the $10 million people, that's half the bankers on Wall Street. They're just going to sit there and take it. They're not going to literally just say, we're going to pack the New York Stock Exchange up and leave. Are you doing that nationally or by state? Doing it by state, the state will empty. I know this is already happening in New York, and we haven't gone there yet. Andrew Cuomo, my former governor, tried something like this. What he did was he said he was going to tax the wealthy in a different way. He said, we're not going to tax your income. We're going to tax all your transaction fees. He said, we're going to tax financial transaction fees. And every time the stock market gets a transaction, New York's going to take a cut. Small cut, but a cut. The cut would have equaled billions of dollars. Billions over all imagine all the transactions being done at New York Stock Exchange every day. I mean, how many? I don't know, millions? How many, right? Small cut every day. Boom. New York Stock Exchange threatened to pack up and move to Miami. I'm not joking. They said, I'm sorry, they didn't. That's why they were going to move to Austin, not Miami, Austin. They were going to pack up and move to Austin. Yes. Goldman Sachs says, we'll pack up, we'll move to Miami. Goldman Sachs is going to move to Miami. New York Stock Exchange is going to move to Austin. What's the common denominator between Florida and Texas? No income tax. Yes, no income tax. That was the common denominator. They were going to leave. This guy said, I'm going to triple your taxes, quadruple them. So you got to start selling stuff because you can't pay. They're going to stay. That means it's got to be a national piece. If it's national, what will happen? They'll pack up and leave. How do I know that? They're already doing it. The UK is bleeding millionaires. I'm not joking. They're bleeding millionaires. They're leaving every day. Gone. Leaving. There's a guy, if you go on YouTube, called Nomad Capitalist. Some of you may know who he is. This guy literally does YouTube videos on how to go someplace else where you can get better taxes. That's how common it is. Yes. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. It sounds good.
I think a lot of people see this instinctively as a bad thing. It's often an argument that is made. You should.
Yes. Agreed.
You shouldn't tax the rich a lot because maybe they're not that cash rich. Maybe they're just holding lots of assets. And if you tax them a lot, they'll have to sell their assets. Increasingly, as wealth inequality grows, a bigger and bigger share of the national wealth, of national assets, are owned by the very rich.
Yes, but why? Yes, that's true. He's not wrong, right? His data is correct. Absolutely true. His data is correct. But he's not at all explaining why it happened or realistically how to fix it, right? Just imagine his answer is, we'll just take your shit. That's his answer.
Now, if you are very rich, say...
to be clear, he never denied he was a communist. Just saying. He burped twice, never denied it. He's not denying.
You have a wealth of £100 million, or let's say £500 million, like Rishi Sunak, according to the Sunday Times. You will generate a passive income of £25 million a year.
Okay.
£2 million a month.
So you would generate, according to him, if you had $500,000 in assets, this is what he's saying, you would generate $2 million per month in passive income. Okay, I got that. Good for you. I hope one day I can generate $2 million in passive income. Joel over on Rumble has ranted me. $1, thank you. The fair tax would work better than tariffs for made in America business growth. True. China would hate the fair tax. Also, trillions in offshore dollars would come back here tax-free and be invested here. You're not wrong, Joel. I like the fair tax compared to tariffs. Yes, I obviously would prefer no tax, but yes, fair tax is better than tariffs. I would agree with you. It is definitely a better choice if I have an option between those two. Yes. So yes. So again, we'll go back to this guy. You make $2 million a month. Okay, great. Now what?
If the wealth is being held by people who have a passive income of £2 million
okay,
per month,
per month,
they will never sell anything. If you had a large amount of wealth,
they'll never sell anything. You just said, if you make $2 million a month, you'll never sell anything. He just said that. Does anybody happen to know what is currently the largest chunk of investments of people who are billionaires? Real estate. Used to be, not anymore. Right now, the largest is actually in private equity. Private equity is making huge chunks now in AI and technology. That's a big push for them. Now, private equity does also do real estate here or there. It does. Used to do a lot more. It doesn't anymore. Now, wait a minute. If it doesn't anymore, it's changed. What is that? What happened to all that real estate? Huh. They used to have a lot more in real estate. Now they don't. What happened? Oh, wait, they sold it. But he said, his words, you'll never sell anything. Yeah, I just explained to you that clearly they sell lots of things. They have to become liquid sometimes. When they become liquid, what do they do? They sell things. That's what they do. See, buying and selling is how they make money. They have these assets. They don't just keep it. The concept of I'll just keep all my money and make $2 million a year. Well, I guess maybe if you're retired, maybe, and you don't want to do this anymore, and you're 70, and you're like, look, I'm just going to keep my stuff till I drop dead. Maybe. That's just not true. He is literally just making this up. It's not true. It sounds great. So again, if I don't know any better, I go, oh yeah, they're just sitting on stuff and we're all making money. No. Mike has bad and he says he is lying or he's ignorant. He's not ignorant. He's actually smart. He's a trader. He writes stuff. He's not smart. I mean, he's not dumb. He's smart. Yes. That's not how that works. Yes. Absolutely. So let me just keep going here.
You're making £2 million a month. Why would you ever sell any of your assets? You're making £2 million a month. You never need to sell anything. So increasing.
Okay. There's a difference between do they do it or do you need to do it? He's right. If you made anybody in this country, in this world, no matter where you live, if you were generating $2 million in passive income per month, he is correct. You have no need to sell anything. That's true. Doesn't mean you won't. Doesn't mean you won't. You may want to become looking for something else. You may want to keep growing. You may want to buy some. Who knows? This is silly. This is silly.
We are in a situation where the assets are owned by people who never have to sell any assets.
Okay, yes, they never have. Wealthy people don't have to even do anything. Elon Musk doesn't have to do anything, but he does. Jeff Bezos doesn't have to do anything, but he does. I know lots of people. Look, Mike Voss is watching. He used to be on Wall Street. Mike was here. Mike used to be on Wall Street. He's going to say it right here. Every multi-million client I had worked every day for some company, another private business. Few were retired. Correct, Mike. I knew Mike would. If he knew that, I knew he would. Yes, he knew lots of people with lots of money who still did stuff. He acts like once you make $2 million a month, you just basically roll up in a corner and die. Who does that? You know, to someone who has that kind of mindset to create that kind of cash flow, they don't just stop. He's making this. Why doesn't he stop? Why is he making videos? He's still making videos. He should stop. He makes that kind of money. Michael, thank you for $2, my friend. That British guy sounds more like a scam, Larry. Agreed. Yeah, but his videos get hundreds of thousands of views. Why aren't mine? I'm jealous. I gotta start saying crap like him, I guess. Is that what I gotta do?